there, welcome back to my channel, Uniquely Reagan Handcrafted Cards. Today I'm not going to be making any cards, but what I am going to be making and showing you is decorating a notepad. It's a grocery list market pad. I made this holder. It's a chipboard holder, and I previously made one several months ago on my channel. I will link it at the end of this video and up at the card in at this point in the video. I'll link it for you so that you can go back and see how I made this style of chipboard album or notepad holder. And in that original video, I had covered the entire inside of the album, but in order to save just a little bit of paper, in this one, I have only covered the spine piece. So this is about a 3-inch wide piece of paper here. The album is, or the notepad holder book is constructed in the very same way. I added a pin loop just like I did in the original video, and a pocket that's gusseted. It has about an 1/8-inch gusset pocket just like I did in the original video. And I have a couple of notepads here. I've already split the notepad. This is the notepad came in a set of 2. And I split the 2 notepads to make 4 notepads. And I have already made 2 other notepad holders. So what it's going to look like in the end is this here. So the notepad will pull out of the sleeve. And this notepad here, I added a backer sheet to the part I split off from the original pad and put a backer sheet on and added some glue, just art glitter glue. It dries clear, or you could use Barely Art glue or any other type of book binding glue that's going to dry clear. And you just want to get it over the edge there so that it's going to cover the edge there. You can see the glue. It's kind of that sheen to it. You can see where it's covering the edge there. You want to make sure that you have enough to cover the edge so that it's not going to pull away from the backer sheet. And it had already had a nice pop of glue on the original notepad, so it's just giving some extra stability there and keeping our backer sheet to it so that it's not going to go anywhere and it's going to stay in that pad when added to it. Now this one I did add a pin loop to it, and this one there is no pin loop. So sometimes I add a pin loop, sometimes I don't. Some people like to have their own pin, and they might just keep this on their desk or in their kitchen, and they have another pin that they've got handy. They might put this in their bag or something. So these are 2 that I've already created using that same style of instruction that I gave in the previous video, which I will link at the end of the video, and I've already linked in the card for you. So I've got 2 more of these notepad books made already. One I've added the loop closure to it, the pin loop, and one I did not, just like in the other set. So I've got 2 more notepads that I'm going to decorate these books for. So I'm going to take you along on the journey to show you how I'm going to decorate these up and talk to you about the construction of it along the way. So the reason why I just wanted to add a little bit of a spine coverage here is just to do a paper saver and add that's all that really it is. You could cover the entire book here, but you would have to cut into another 12 by 12 sheet of paper in order to do that. Or if you had the same color of cardstock and the same weight, you could do it in an 8.5 by 11. These notepads are 4 by 9.5 inches or 4.5 by 9.5 inches because these notepads, unlike the original video that I did, these notepads are 4 by 9 inches. The original video that I did, they were 4 by 8 inches. So you just have to pay attention to your notepad size. So the first thing that I'm going to do in going about decorating my notepad is I pulled out some papers from this pink paisley pad from 2008 called Switchboard, and I pulled out several coordinating sheets. You really just need 3 sheets unless you want to do, this paper is kind of thin, unlike the other notepads that I decorated earlier today. This is 49 in market paper, and it's kind of heavy. And it doesn't really need a layering piece on it because it is so heavy. So I didn't add a layering piece on the front covers and the spine, but I am going to do that on this one. I'm going to add another layering panel. So I pulled out a 4th sheet here. So I've got 4 pieces of 12 by 12 paper from this paper pad. So I'm going to set my paper pad aside. And like I said, my notebook is 4.5 inches. That's 9.5 inches tall and 4.5 inches wide. Now, what I will say is about adding your pen loop. Let me show you in this pad right here. This one. 4.5 inches on a 4-inch notepad with adding a pen loop closure. If you will see here, the pen loop and the notepad are kind of getting, it's very close. I would make this 4 5/8 wide, like I did in my original video, 4 5/8, or 4 5/8 is how wide I made it. And that just gives a little bit extra room for that pen loop, so it's not resting against the edge of your pad here. And then if you have a taller pad, it's not pressing against this and shifting it around. It's going to keep that stable. Or the other thing you could do is make your spine wider. But making your notepad book 5/8 of an inch wider than your notepad, I think that's ideal rather than just 3/4 or 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch is what I did on this one. This is the original one I did was 5/8, and that's what I suggest. 5/8 inch, not 1/2 inch. So on my, since this is 4.5 inch wide, I'm going to cut my layering panel down by 1/8 of an inch. So 4 3/8 by 9 3/8. So let me check this to make sure it fits well. That gives a nice reveal all the way around. So I like that. And I think that I like this little heart paper as a front panel on this page. I'm going to use these 2 papers inside. So I'm going to cut this down 1/4 inch smaller than what I've done here. So this one is going to be 4 1/8, where this was 4 3/8. Let me check that. Yep, that's a nice reveal all the way around. Very nice. Let me cut, I'm going to cut another piece out of this piece to layer on the spine. Now my spine is 3/4 of an inch. Actually, it was 7/8, but once I've wrapped it and gave that spacing, it makes it about 1 inch. So let me cut this down to 7/8. There we go. And then I'm going to cut a different color cardstock. I think I'll cut a spine piece out of this ledger paper. Okay, that's a nice reveal. So I'm going to set those aside here. Now on the inside, I need a piece to cover the pocket here. And that's about 7 7/8 by 4 1/4. I'm going to cover that with this ledger paper. And I think just because the lines here will provide some nice place if someone wants to write some secret notes, maybe they want to put their passwords or something here. Let me get that. So that's going to fit there. Let me trim just a little off. Very nicely. This is single-sided paper. If it was double-sided, I could take advantage of those back sides of the pieces. Now on this side here and on the spine, I need to account for that. Let me think about, I need a pocket here. This is 110-pound cardstock. I'm going to make it a couple of pockets here. 5.5 by 3 3/4. And then I'm going to cut another one at 2.5. So I'm going to make some score marks to make a pocket. Let me get out my small scoreboard here and my score tool. And I'm just going to score at 1/4 inch. Or 1/2 inch, sorry. 1/2 inch. And on this second pocket, I only need to score the sides. I don't need to score the bottom. Oops. There we go. Fold these over. Let me test this out here. I'm going to bring this one score mark in, one of the score marks on the side in just a little bit. Come in another 1/8. Just so I don't cross this score line in the middle. I don't want to bind it up in any way. Okay. Now I'm going to miter these corners here. I want to make sure that the corners don't cross because then it creates a little point here. It's going to show on the outside. So I want to just get that cross right there where those two come cross in the center. We want to get that mark taken away. That's a nice mitered corner now. Same on this side. Trim just a little bit more. There we go, that's perfect. So this one is going to slide inside here. I just see that's not fitting exactly nicely. I need to trim or come in just a little bit more on, let me make another 1/8 inch score mark or just a little bit less here. Just so we don't get any resistance when we're trying to put that together. I like to dry fit it as I go along instead of trying to do it, live and learn, right? While you're putting it together and you have all your, now that fits nicely, it slides in and out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this down here, and then this one's going to slide right on top of, inside of it. Let me get that done. And then I'm going to start decorating the paper, the notepad. I'm going to cut a full sheet here to cover any of the little tabs that I've got glued in so that anything that goes inside the pocket doesn't get stuck. And I did this in the original video, so you can refer back to that if you have any questions. And I'll cut another smaller piece to go here to cover this little bit of chipboard. I'm also going to cut a piece on the spine, but I need to cut away a little piece for the pin loop, just like I did on this other notepad here. You can see that there's a piece cut out about 1/4 inch above and below, almost 1/2 inch. So I'll show you in the video how I do that. So I'm going to speed this up so we can get moving here. Stick with me and I'll show you how it looks at the end. finished the 2 additional Notepad books. These are the 2 that I finished this morning, and these are the 2 that I have just completed. The one I started with you on camera earlier and covered is this one. It has the pen loop with it. I've got the notepad in the sleeve here. And then also I added a couple little journal cards. I've got a little tuck spot here. I have some little graphic 45 cut apart little die cut images and a cut apart image here from one of the, I think it came from the pink paisley pad that this came from too. It says live in the moment. On the front I've got a couple of puffy stickers. I've got another puffy sticker down here with some simple stories stickers scattered around. And there is that notepad book. And then this is the last one that I finished. And I went ahead and I put a bookmark in it, or it could be a list, a quick list. This one does not have a pen loop with it, but the notepad is also in a sleeve. So it can be pulled out and replaced if someone finishes it. There we go. And on the front it says, oh, happy day, but first coffee. And there's a couple of pockets just like the other ones. And I've got some simple story stickers scattered around. This one is a little more clean on the inside than this one is very filled with all kinds of stuff. Here are the other 2. I've got 49 and Market paper and embellishments. Here we go. Just like that. And this one has the pen loop that I showed you. It's got some die cut images on the top here on the front page. And here are some of the 49 and Market embellishments and cut aparts. It's got that pen loop with it. So there we go. I've got 4 notepad books to add to my farmer's market stash. So it turned out to be a great little session here of crafting, and I'm glad that you came to join me for it. So if you like these books, and I hope that you make one, if you do, share it with me on social media. You can find me at Uniquely Reagan Handcrafted Cards or by my name. And you'll see my name in the description box below. But if you like it, leave a comment and a like. Hit that thumbs up button to do that. And tell me what you like about this. And go back to that original video, which I'll link. I had linked already in the cards. I'll link at the end of this video for you. I hope you come back and join me the next time I have a crafty video up. Have a great day. Bye.